somewhat choppy editing here, but I had to stay within 15 minutes. I hope you enjoy the video.
I sent my neighbor a text. I couldn't stand not knowing what this is called. It's called a side dressing. Alright, so put this side in here. We want to set this as level as possible, you're telling me. I'm going to lift it up just a smidge, see how it sits. This is pretty good. Now something, we'll extend this top link. This is called a top link for those of you who are not familiar with this. I'll extend this out. These come with a short top link. So the other day I bought this disc hair from a neighbor over here. He threw in an extra long top link for me because this top link was not long enough to pull that disc hair over there. Shorten it down just a smidge. Turns there. Doesn't have to be exact, obviously, but you want this to sit as level as possible. There. I always try to remember to put my pins in these neat little things they have welded on. That way they're not in my pocket and I forget where they are and that sort of thing. So that's good there. Make sure this is cleaned out. We're in good shape there. Alright, so we're ready. If I raise this up, it's going to get off the ground. We're in good shape. Alright, we'll take a golf cart ride up. We'll show you where the corn patch is. And we'll come back and move the trailer with all the fertilizer and move the tractor. So we'll be right back with it. Video in the last couple of months. I've been working on these trails, and here in the past we can get from one part of the farm to the next. It's been a lot of fun. I think the next video I'm going to hook the landscape rake to the tractor, come through here with a landscape rake and kind of drag out some of these limbs and stuff that's fallen. You can see I got a lot of dead trees. We had a drought here in North Alabama a couple of years ago, and this has been 5 years ago now, but all these trees, the drought may not have necessarily killed them, but it made them more susceptible in the succeeding years to different diseases. So we've lost a lot of these poplar. You can see like that little one there, the top has died out of it. So on the hillside and even down in the valley, those poplars, tops died out of them, they dropped. So we'll change the third gear here and we'll ease through a little faster. But anyway, the fairly mature scope of hardwoods here. And the kids love these trails. We have the kids from church down there in the barn play basketball, and we have these trails cut where they love playing paintball and running through these woods. And that's another video we're going to do in the coming weeks. I'm either going to rent a mulcher and clear out a lot of this undergrowth, or slowly using the bush hog and other implements go through and clear out. Big bump right here, big root. Take my time going over this. Alright, so you can see I cut down some pretty good sized trees here. And this here was an old home place. It was last lived in the late 40s. You can't even really tell anymore. But right up here, you'll be able to see the blue marking where I've marked the old well. Hopefully if I get around to it, I'll make a video. We're going to clean out that well. Maybe set up a lift system to clean out that well. If any of you have any ideas there, feel free to comment on that. So just a little short lift through that scope of woods. We're here to the corn patch. Pretty good rain here this morning. I'm hoping it's not too wet to do this. So here's the deal. I'm trying to track off you here a little better. So this field is about a 4-acre field total. And when I first planted this and started working on it, I should say, nothing had really greened out yet. So I was able to disc all this up without any complications. And what we'll do lots of times is we'll spray Roundup if we let the grass get too high before we disc. But at any rate, I was able to disc this up and level it out. I drug it out and got it level, and then planted this Roundup ready corn on April 10th. So here we're on May 22nd. So it's been about 6 weeks. Last weekend I sprayed Roundup. So you'll be able to see the weeds as we go through here. The weeds are starting to die pretty well, but you'll also unfortunately see a couple of paths where my sprayer missed, and I'll go back through and touch those up. But anyway, we're gonna go back and get the truck, and we're gonna set this side dresser. My neighbor, like I said, I texted him, he told me it's called a side dresser. And I'll show you how that works again as we set it up to these rows of corn. More to come. I'll show you here. And this last section here, you can see it's freshly plowed. After I'd had this going for a while, I came through a sprayed Roundup, and when I built my new set of disc harrow, I cut it 3 times, down and back, down and back, down and back. So I guess it's actually 6 times to get this cut under. And then I planted watermelons from here to the woods, and then back up this way I planted cantaloupe. So we should have plenty of watermelon and cantaloupe. I'm gonna roll the video. We're on the golf cart here, be a little bit loud, but we'll fast forward through that.
Hey Dad, what did you just about
This thistle, some of you may have a better name for it, we call it thistle, but it's awful. So I try to kill those every chance I get. We get rid of the thistle here. I'm gonna take you down a different trail. Oh, there's another thistle. We'll run over it on the way by. I'll take you down a different trail that we have on the way back. We're back through the woods here, back on the back side of the barn. I call it the Rooster Dome. The community I live in is called Ruth, and the team was called the Ruth Roosters. So my grandfather built a place for them to play basketball, and they called it the Rooster Dome. Well, in his memory, I built this 34 by 60 building a few years ago, and we call it the Rooster Dome. So we'll put the trailer pin's right there under that ammonium nitrate. Put the pin in there, and we will take the trailer and the fertilizer around and start the process here. We'll see how it goes. All right, so a little bit of trial and error going here. I'll show you what we got going. Every tractor is a little different. My neighbor, he runs a McCormick, and that McCormick has a little bit wider wheelbase than this John Deere. Grab the camera here. As you can see, I ran over a few stalks here on the end, but you also know, if you've ever done anything right here under these trees, these end stalks are really not going to make anything anyway. But what I did is you can see my tracks here. I tried to get down on this side of this row and this side of that row to cover these 2 rows at one time, but I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to straddle these rows and just not let this wheel run over the corn as I go. So I'm only going to be able to cover 1 row at a time. That's not a big deal. Like I said, we've only got about probably 2.5 acres of corn here. I'm going to go a little faster. And also there's a setting right here. I cut that down to about half the amount. So we're going to run it and see how it goes. It's one of those things like many, it's kind of a trial and error. We're going to let it go for a little bit. I'm going to drive, let my son video walking behind me. We may stop and adjust it here or there to maybe make it a little more, a little less. my first time to use this side dresser, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna pass the camera off to him and we'll see how it goes. This is totally a gravity feed. Wow, that's way too much. So when I stop, it's really stopped. It's kind of like a gravity feed wagon. You don't have a grain wagon, but that's way too much in my opinion. So I'm gonna turn this down a lot. We'll come around here, bud. You can see there's just a wing nut here. I'm gonna loosen the wing nut. I'm gonna shove that down almost as low as it'll go. There may be a little bit more room to go lower, but we'll see how it goes. I like how the wheel, that middle, the back wheel, I'm just missing this corn, so it's dropping right down beside it, and then the next rain will water the in. They're calling for chance of rain every day this week, so I'm looking forward to getting some rain on this. So we went a little ways there. That's more like it. I ran over a few stalks of corn. I'm gonna have to keep myself on the lower side here and not run over as much corn. And I don't know if I said it already or not. My grandfather called ammonium nitrate sody. S-O-D-Y, I guess. Again, I'd love to see your comments. Did anybody else call it sody, or is it just us? So anyway, that should be good. We're gonna put it in gear. I'm gonna speed up a little bit. We're gonna keep going and see how it goes.
That was the best place to stop to stay within 15 minutes. So continue on the next one to keep watching. Hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.